Hello everybody, this is A Stocky here and welcome to the start. This is going to be the first episode, the very first episode of my Kerbal Space Program Campaign to the Stars. There's going to be a link in the description for the text file that basically includes all the rules that I'm going to follow. But basically, there are starting funds of 25,000. There are a number of different cost refunds. I'll kind of go through it as I go along a little bit. There's a number of always in effect rules. There is also a number of missions. Now I've taken these from Skyrender's extensive Kerbal Space Program Campaign, and there'll be a link in the text file to the forum website where you can get that from, where I've taken pretty much all of the missions from. I've tweaked some of the rules a little bit to make them a bit more what I think is going to be fun. But anyhow, what we're going to do is we are going to hopefully, delete the default game because we don't want that game, and we're going to start a new one. The Kerbal Aeronautics and Space Association, CASA. So that's going to be my team group. There we go. No. This shouldn't be the hard part of the campaign. This should be the easy part. What am I going to call it? Actually, what am I going to call myself? Fine, it's me. There we go. So, I'm also going to have a link in the description of the mods that are included in this pack. Hopefully, actually maybe this will work that I can bring this up. The mods that should be included are the payload pack, the LSI cargo bay, the quantum fuel transfer system, the quantum struts, subassembly loader, keythane. I'm not 100% sure, but I think I included protractor. There is home. The Ferrum Aerospace Research. I think I included the Kerbal Alarm Clock, but I'd have to check that for sure. I definitely included Node Select, MechJeb Part Filter, and the ROMFARER Docking Cam. Once again, I will just do a 100% confirm on those. Those are the ones that I'm almost 100% sure I've included, but there should be no non-stock spaceships in here. Yep, there we go. There are no non-stock spaceships. There are no sub-assemblies. I will just confirm that for sure though. Yep, look, there are no sub-assemblies. Let's go new. Now, let's get started with the campaign. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some notes about kind of how much I spend and those kind of things. But the first mission is to achieve a stable orbit. The second tier 1 mission is to do a safe deorbit. The next one is to have a circular low Kerbal orbit at around about 100 kilometers plus or minus 2 kilometers. So those three you can pretty much do in the one mission, and for that you can get 8,000, 9,500. So I start with 25,000, so if I don't spend that much, I can effectively do pretty well with this. So I'm going to try and keep tabs of what I spend on things to try and keep this so it's not too much of an accounting, but I'm going to get the smallest, hopefully cheapest pod, which I think is the 600. Yeah, we've got some cheap probe parts, but it needs to be manned. So I'm then going to put on top of that a parachute, because every manned system needs a parachute. What did that cost? 422. That is such an odd number. Now that I have done that, I am going to want a way of detaching that from the rest of the ship. So I'm going to want some form of decoupler. We've got a little itty bitty decoupler there that's cheap. We've got a much bigger, much more expensive decoupler. Yeah, I think it's another itty bitty one. Yeah, kind of seem to pay for the price. You pay for the price. That comment doesn't even make sense. It looks like I'm going to be stuck with spending $600 for a decoupler. And I have this crazy feeling that I'm going to be stuck using a lot of those decouplers. How much do parachutes cost? Maybe I don't need to decouple it. No, utility. Parachutes cost 700. To be fair, decouplers are cheaper than... Yeah, well, I'm going to try and make as much of this reusable as I can. So, you're a little itty bitty probe part. I'm going to put you there. And then I'm going to put a fuel tank. A long fuel tank, I think. Now, hopefully this should work just fine. I'm going to put a long fuel tank on there. So the long fuel tank was 1600. What did that little probe thingy cost? 230. This is really adding up pretty quick. I did not think this was going to be quite so expensive. What do my engines cost now? 950. Wow, that's expensive. Lucky I have lots to start with, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to get most of this back. So this is all going to come down to Earth, as long as it has parachutes. So let's put dual symmetry for that. We'll stick 2 parachutes on there. Perfect. That is going to be saved. Yeah, I'm sure that's going to be saved. And then, actually what I'm going to do now is I'm not actually going to use MechJeb, except that it tells me how much delta V I have. Now you need about 4,500 to get yourself into orbit, so what I'm going to do now is see if... I'll hang on to that for later. We need another decoupler. Wow, we're just chucking away money here with these decouplers. So that's another 600. Whoops, would probably help to have an engine on there. Thinking that's way too big. That little one, what does that one cost? So that only costs 750. Thinking now I've done this all wrong. Let's... What did that cost? 850. How much did the big one cost? 1600. Okay, so 850. Now we wanna... Oh wait, that's right. We wanna put the little engine on there. The decoupler. We wanna put that on there. And the big engine. It's going to be tight to see whether that's going to be enough delta V. Got 1600 plus 3000. That's probably going to be enough. I'd hate to risk it and not make it into a stable 100-kilometer orbit though. See, now that I've done this, I've gone and messed up totally because this bit now doesn't have a probe on it. Ah, come on. Oh, no, wait, there we go. And then put you on there. Now what I'm going to do here is take that probe off. So there we're still at the same cost we were. I don't think I haven't paid the price for those 2 parachutes yet. I think this could be a bit nitty gritty in the end. So we're looking at 1400, 700 by 2 for the parachutes. We are going to need a decoupler there as well. which is another 600. This is just getting crazy now. So this is going to stay attached as one big unit, and that parachute's going to kick off, and it's not going to work. I know we've got the decoupler there. Seems to be messing up the counts now. It's not telling me how much delta V I'm going to have correctly. Because calling that one stage, which is stage 5. Then we've got the stage 3 engine. It's because I've got the extra probe in there. It's not telling me how much I'm going to have for my stage 2, which is going to get me some additional... Now this rocket is much more complicated than I think it needs to be. So, new rocket. Okay. Definitely going to have one probe body, 600. Easy. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to have one parachute, because I wish to land, at 422. Okay, definitely getting there this time. I know what I'm doing now. And the next thing we're going to do is we are going to have one decoupler at an expensive 600, and then we are going to have one small fuel tank at 850 combined with one small engine at 750. So there we have part 1 of my rocket. Now this part here, basically everything from here down is going to be just disposed of, because I'm not worried about that. I'm going to make a lot of money with this mission, so I'm not even worried about that part. Now the next thing we want to do is we want to get ourselves some of these side decouplers for 200. We wish to have 2 of them. Now where's our mech jet pod? So we got delta V of a fair bit. Now we want propulsion. Is this going to work? That's what I need to know. If we put 2 of these on, how much are we going to get? You know, I think that could very nearly work, but I want to be just a tad fancier. It's not going to be the most attractive rocket ever. If I move these bits down a bit. Now this is something that occasionally happens. For some reason it thinks that there's an issue that those are joined together. So what you have to do is you have to press Alt F12, turn on allow editing clipping, and then place the part on, and you can see it's not actually clipping anything. Well, actually in that case there you can see that it was clipping something, but like there it's not actually clipping anything, but for some reason it thought that it was. I don't get it, but it's not about me getting it. So now we're going to get engines. Now I have the feeling I'm going to use these things as boosters quite a lot. Okay, so what did we just put in then? We put in... Actually, I put in the steerable engines. I don't want those. So let's put in... We've got fuel, which is the big tank, so that's 1600 by 2. And we put in decouplers, 200 by 2. And now we want parachutes to make sure we save these engines and we save these other things. And that's 850 by 2. And then we're going to grab our engines, and I want the extra powerful ones. In fact, maybe these would be even better. They're 850 by 2. So now that should be pretty much everything that I need. Hopefully when that parachute pops, it can lower this thing down. And what I might actually do, now we'll land them in the water, so they'll be fine in the water. That's not going to be an issue. Just trying to think of what I might need to do now. I think all I'm going to need to do now is use... Where are my thingies? There we go. I'm just going to have to use these two to basically hold it in place. Yeah, that should be plenty. That should be plenty of delta V now. So I'm now going to call this spacecraft CASA Tier 1.1. So this is going to be my first ship. Now I'm going to take MechJeb off because I'm not actually using MechJeb. I just wanted to have it there for the enabling of this particular thing to work. Now all I have to hope is that once I get up, I can drop these off and deploy the parachutes at the same time. So that's going to fire and that, and then those two parachutes are going to fire at the same time as the decouplers. That's good because that should slow them down and pull them down and away. And then that's going to fire. Actually, let's fire that at the same time. And then the final parachute. I think we now have everything that we need. Safe. Let's go. Okay, so we have a nervous looking Jebediah Kerbal for the very, very first flight of the Kerbal space program here. Computer controls, hopefully. 3, 2, 1, don't die. So we're rocketing up here, lots of thrust. Whoop, 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 okay. Okay, we have an issue. Whoop, okay. Okay. I think that went very badly. I'm thinking that well, I think that's going to survive, but somehow I'm not thinking that Jebediah is. Come on, deploy. Yes. I'm not feeling so. Okay. I saved. Okay, well, let's pretend that didn't happen. Let's just pretend that didn't happen. You saw nothing. Now let's put that engine down here. Back to the Kerbal Space Center. Now there's a good reason for this. A very good reason. You saw nothing. Now we want dual symmetry. Now these have no vectored thrusting ability. This does. This is my steering engine. Without a steering engine, steering is notoriously difficult. So, nope, this is still the 1.1 because you never saw anything happen. Never. Never saw anything happen. That's what happens when you go for a complicated launching type setup. You need to go there. We want to fire all three of these at once. That's better. Now we should have the ability to hold this thing still and actually have some steering. Yes, there we go, we do have some steering. Not very much though, oh no. Cut engines. Deploy the chutes. Please don't hit each other. Please don't hit each other. Deploy the next chute. Okay. Okay. This one really did happen. This time it's for real. Those chutes are going to hopefully deploy. There we go, look at that. Beautiful. What did we lose? Okay. So, thinking about this now, I don't think this is a good rocket design. Thinking about this whole game and the fact that I haven't played it very much, I've just gone through, because I did notice that my engines actually shot off the bottom and actually fell to earth by themselves, which is, again, not something I would consider ideal, considering I've just blown up a huge amount of money. I saved some fuel tanks. I saved a lot of fuel in those fuel tanks too. So what we're going to do now is we are going to change the rules. I'm still going to fly the campaign. I'm still going to aim for rockets that are mostly reusable, but let's now redesign this system. Let's redesign the system in a way that's useful. So I'm pretty sure now that should give me one fin there and one fin there. So there we have our fins that are hopefully going to give us some stability, hopefully. And now, those didn't work that well. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go for side-mounted chutes. Much better. And we're going to go to our aerodynamics section, and I'm going to go for beautiful nose cones. I'm feeling a little bit better about this. Now hopefully these fins here are going to help hold this together. Now you get down there. You are now the 1.2. Can't believe how pitifully this campaign went. Whatever. Launch. Come on, Jebediah. Yes. Ooh, that nearly went badly. Go time. So we're now gonna throttle back. Tilt myself over very slightly. Try to tilt myself over very slightly. Okay, so we're going to have to do this a little bit differently than I was hoping for. That's okay. Okay. How do I manage to do this so wrong so often? Okay, why are you not playing the game? Crazy system. Okay, now let's take you, put you there. We're going to do this differently now. We're going to do this differently, and hopefully it's going to work for me. Let's just try and hold that nice and steady. And deploy parachute. Let's speed time up a little. Yeah, whatever. Totally got this under control. We are dropping like a rock. Okay, that's not cool. Let's try and end up this with this facing in the correct direction. Oh, come on. Oh, this is going to end badly for everyone. What I'm aiming to do, and it's not going to work, is I was aiming to attempt to slow my descent to the point where when the parachute pops it won't snap everything off. But somehow I don't feel like that's going to happen. This is going to snap off and Jebediah is going to go, yay, look at me, I'm having so much fun. Wait, maybe not. Yeah. That didn't work that well. Dang, 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 dang. I know I did wrong this time, and I know that the very next time Jebediah flies, you're going to be like, wow, look at Jebediah, he's so awesome. So I think the problem is you. Vectoring range, 0.5. That doesn't feel like it's enough. Probably is enough once you get up to altitude. What I think I'm going to have to do is, until I get up to altitude, do something like this. Yeah. And now if we go to aerodynamics, we put some fins on. Yeah, look at that. Can't believe I just did this whole thing without symmetry on. Okay, let's go for a take 2. I'll put some symmetry on. Now if we do the same thing over on this one, I have a good feeling about this. There we go, we've got fins now. Somehow it didn't work that well though. Okay, let's do it. Bad move. Okay. Okay, now we want to move this one, do the same. I thought I knew what I was doing with this game. Turns out I was so mistaken. Okay, this time, clearing the launch pad. Clearing the launch pad. Okay, this time I feel like we've got this. Okay, throttles up. Don't die. What the heck just happened? Why have I can't believe this. 28 minutes in, and I haven't successfully done anything. Why are you showing fins here, but then you don't have fins as soon as I get on the runway? I don't get you. Why you do this to me? Why? They're not there again. That doesn't even make sense. Okay. Okay, I can do this. I can do this. No need to panic. We are going to achieve something today. And we're going to achieve it in a very Kerbal-like way. We want engines. Little engine. Then we want... Where's our stack separator? Okay, then we want Big engine. Okay. 2 really cheap separators. And propulsion. Two really cheap boosters. I don't intend to go very fast with these boosters, so I'm not even going to bother putting aerodynamics on top of them. Not going to parachute them, we're not going to do anything. You get down here. Perfect. Okay, sorry about that. Now, what was it? What was the last one called? There we go. This one is called the Finally Do It. We are finally going to do it. So, throttles to max. Launch. And we'll drop the thrust right back. Because we don't want to use up too much of our liquid fuel. Beautiful, look at that. Like I bought one. Now we're going to tilt ourselves over at a nice slow rate, nice and stable like. Even though maybe it doesn't necessarily want to do it nice and stable like. Now we're going to thrust up. Probably should have put SAS or something on this. Because it's fighting me. It's fighting me a lot. Come on, don't fight me, you crazy machine. This is one of the issues with the aerospace research mod. It requires a real lot of fighting in order for the system to actually work the way that it's supposed to. But I'm definitely going to get to this 100 km by 100 km orbit if it hurts someone very badly. Okay, so now we want to really start bringing this over nice and flat. Okay, something just went wrong. Okay, there we go. Now, what are we at? 92. "100 km orbit, here we come with our tiny little engine." Oops, wrong key. That didn't help at all. Let's just stop there. I think that's going to be sufficient. Now we know that that debris is going to curl back in and destroy itself, which is great because that's what we want. We don't want to leave any debris floating around. We're up nice and high now. I really wish at this point I had mech jeb, but I do not. So I'm going to have to control this myself, which stinks because I hate having to do this. So hopefully we should have plenty of fuel here to be able to do this. Come on, finally do it. Now orbit's getting much bigger now, so I'm probably going to have to fix this a little bit in a few seconds. Okay, we still don't have a periapsis, so there's going to need to be more thrusting. So what are we up to now? 77 on our periapsis. This is not the 100 that I was hoping for. In fact, this is nothing like it. But also I believe that we'll find my apoapsis is like miles higher than it should be. So we've totally, yeah, 390, we've totally botched this orbit. Should probably use like a maneuver node or something, but whatever. Why is, oh, forgot to put SAS on, that's why it's not holding still. Let's bring this one down. I can do this, I'm totally serious, I can do this. I can play this game, I can pay attention, I can watch what I'm doing. You must believe me. Okay, perfect. Now you're down to 78, so we've got to do one more lap of the world. Then we've got to boost this very slightly. We're almost pointing prograde, which will be fantastic, because I need to burn prograde. So we've got this at 100, and that at almost 100. Let's use a maneuver node here. Too hard, too hard, too hard, can't do it. No, I can do it, but it's just a bit, it's not worth the effort of doing it, because it's just going to be such a quick little burn. Come on, 27, 22, okay, so here we go. Okay, so we've got 100, and we have 100. We have an orbit that is almost exactly 100 by 100. Perfect. So, I've achieved a stable orbit. Tick in the box. I have achieved a circular low Kerbal orbit of 100 plus or minus 2. Excellent. So I have achieved two things. Now I need to safely deorbit my Kerbal. So what I'm thinking is we'll come from here and we'll add a maneuver to bring this down a little. Maybe, whoops, darn it. Let's add a maneuver to bring things down fairly shallowly. I think that's going to work perfectly. So what do I need? 200 delta V coming up in 5 minutes. So let's speed things around a bit. So it's only a 10-second burn, which is great because it means I shouldn't have too many troubles doing this at all. And it's a retro burn. So we want it just there. Screw it, let's just do it. How are we looking? Yep, perfect. I feel the love for this right now. So now let's go back to our staging view. And here we have Bill. Bill being awesome. We're hitting the atmosphere now, so we want to turn ourselves retrograde. And point ourselves engine first. And then let's see if we get a cool re-entry effect. I'm sure we should. but let's make sure we do. And then this episode will have gone for way longer than it should have, and there will be way more fail in this than they should. And I'm not even sure what that means. I'll have to get in the comments. Okay. Whoop. We are starting to flip end over end, which is not cool. Okay, there we go. We're getting a nice re-entry effect now. Let's gonna use our engine pod. Gonna kind of use everything to sort of bleed some of the speed off this thing. That's a really nice re-entry effect. Look at Bill there, in awe. Potentially a little bit scared, but a lot of in awe as well. Coming up short, Bill. We are coming up short. I've got a bit of fuel left, so I could potentially give it a bit of a kick. Maybe once we clear this re-entry effect, I might be able to just give myself a little bit of a boost over that way a bit. Not working. Okay, time to detach. That's hit the wind, and we heard that move backwards in a hurry. We'll deploy our chute, and Bill is going to come down safely just west of what I'm calling the Kerbal Mountains. So, horrible start to the campaign here. Wow. Excuse me for a moment. Sorry about that. Yeah, horrible start to the campaign here. But we have successfully achieved some tier 1 stuff. Yep. Didn't go that well, but we have successfully brought a Kerbal to Earth. No, we have brought a Kerbal back to Kerbal. Yeah, that's what it is. So yeah, we have successfully achieved that which I have not successfully achieved before in this episode. There we go, look at that, what a beautiful landing. And I believe, yep, look at that, he can even hop out, and he can run around, and he can jump, yep. I think, can he see if I can he does have RCS indeed. Nice, look at that. Bill Kerbal, astronaut, and look at that smile. He is happy with himself. Oh yeah, look at me. Can he moonwalk? No, he can't. Never mind. Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed this bad start. I'm sticking with calling this episode 0 because that was absolutely crap. But thanks very much for watching. A Stocky out.